right, Easton, thank you, man. You got quite the story to tell. And I'm glad that you finally be able to make it to town. So
Oh, it was great.
yeah.
I love this town, by the way.
Yeah, you like it so far?
Oh, yeah. So far, so nice. Wilmington is a really nice town.
Yeah. You got a good little downtown vibe, a little beach vibe, and the
Walking
college.
the boardwalk, that's fun. And the food quality around here is pretty good.
Cool, man. Good.
It's just a nice little area. I'm glad to be down here.
Awesome, man. Before we get rolling into this story, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to, where you're from, all that stuff.
Well, I'm from Gulfport, Mississippi. My whole life was on the water fishing and stuff like that. I live in a small town where it's always outdoors. I mean, just basically it's just life on the water, really and truly from where we're at. Anything. I mean, y'all want to ask questions?
Yeah, you were just born and raised on the water, grew up on boats, all that. So you have a lot of experience on the water.
A lot of experience on the water. We've rebuilt boats. We've taken brand new boats out. We've done everything. I mean, basically your normal river rat or water rat, whatever you want to call us.
I need to go down there.
Yeah, come on. This is a good time.
But yeah, man, so when you shared this video, it went viral. I don't even know if it was on Instagram or TikTok or what, but...
Well, the boat sank. So, hey.
Oh, man.
No bueno. Love y'all.
Somebody sent that to me. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like... what was the end story, and then I heard about it a little bit, but didn't get the whole picture. So tell me about it, man. How what made you film that video? I mean, tell me about the whole. Let's go from the beginning of the day.
From the beginning of the day. All right. So we was at the Mary Walker Sniper Shootout. It's a really big tournament down there that we have. It's opening day of sniper season. Great money in the situation. So it was actually going to be a lot more of us on the boat, but the water was a little sporty, so a lot of them backed out, so it ended up just being the guys going because they were supposed to be all our girlfriends, the wives. It's just a family day on the water. Mm-hmm. Well, once we woke up, we realized the water was a little sporty, and then so the girls backed out of it, and it was just us five. The early morning, me, Connor, and Steven got there. We made like a little safety plan. Hey, the life jackets are up here. The ditch bags or the PLB or whatever it is in this, which Connor's girlfriend just gave us that morning. She just gave it to us. So, hey, if anything happens, here it goes.
So you guys didn't have a PLB?
I never knew what a PLB was, and I've been on the water since I was a kid, man. I've been on the water for a long time.
And wait a second. So let me see that thing right here, the PLB. So for those that are listening, this is a personal locating beacon. Did you have this on you, or was it just stored on the boat?
It was not on me. It was in the yellow bag that we had on the boat.
Okay.
We put it that when Connor's wife gave it to us, the girlfriend gave it to us, we just put it in the bag because I don't know what it is. Didn't think anything about it, to be honest with you. Well, so we headed out of Pascagoula. We going south. We stopped at a little rig before Petty Boy, north of Petty Boy, and we did some fishing. Everything was fine there. We was catching little fish. And for granted, okay, people's on the story, people's like, well, a live well. No, nothing. Like, we checked all that before the boat was even taken out. We checked the whole of the boat before we even launched it out because it stayed in a dry dock or wet dock that night.
What size boat is this?
A 28 foot.
Okay.
It was a 28 foot boat. So yeah, it's not like a normal. I mean, it's a good
five of you guys on a 28 foot boat. Yeah, it's normal. Something crazy.
It can take rough seas. I mean, it's a big boat. It's not like a little 18 foot Johnson or whatever it was. I mean, it was a boat that could handle. And when I say rough seas, we're talking about 4 foot seas, maybe a 5. Nothing terrible bad. But when we was headed out, we caught our bait. We went around the south side of Petty Boy, and then once we got down there, we was headed towards a reef, a private reef that we found a while back.
Yeah,
or Connor had. And then we stopped on one spot, and everything was fine. Like, everything was going good. We looked down on the radar, and there was no light shining, no fish popping up. So we left there. And from there to 3 minutes, heading further south, we found another private reef, and we was watching it. And all of a sudden, we lost one motor. All 5 of us looking at the depth finders, making see if there's any fish. We were about to get ready to start throwing over.
Yeah.
And then we lost one motor. Well, we all looked back, and I don't know if it's just whatever. I'm like, oh shit. We're sinking. from the matter of seconds, our motors were already underwater. Half the cowls were completely submerged underwater. So as that happened, we was literally trying to figure out where the life jackets were because we knew the flares and stuff was inside the center console. So we couldn't even get to it. We tried to pull it open. Dustin tried to pull it open, and the dang center console, the pressure just held it. He pulled the handle off. It's like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Steven said, hey, the life jackets are in the bow of the boat. So we grabbed them. Next thing you know, we're grabbing the yellow bag. Connor's hitting the button. We did what he was told.
So Connor knew about the PLB.
Connor, me, and Steven knew about the PLB. Dustin and his son did not know about the PLB on the boat, but Dusty had one in his tackle box, but nobody knew about it. So, if you don't know about it, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get to the flares. We couldn't get to nothing. The boat went down. I give it a minute, and that's the longest I would give it. Completely gone. We was putting life jackets on in the water.
Damn.
There.
Did you guys ever figure out what may have caused that?
We did not. We was hoping that somebody or the Coast Guard or somebody would have went down and recovered it. But since it's in 100-something foot of water, it's not. It's not leaking fuel. It's not leaking oil. That's one of the things when the Coast Guard, we didn't see no oil slicks. We didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't see no debris floating anywhere.
How far out were you?
We was 40 miles from the Gulf, or for 40 miles from where we launched,
that's
but
out there.
27 miles from Dolphin Island because of the way whatever it was. But we was drifting at 4.1 miles per hour southeast.
Dang.
We was going towards Cuba, and there was no islands in sight.
Damn, man. It happened so fast, all these stories I've been talking to, and seems like, where was the PLB on board though? All
right, so when we started fishing, that's what's crazy. That's one of the crazy parts. When we started fishing, we took the PLB, the yellow bag, out the center console, put it on top of the center console, and once we put it on top of there, that's just where it stayed.
Why'd you put it there?
We don't know why.
Just to get it maybe out of the way.
Just to get it out the way. Be honest with you, it was because the bag had our wallets in it, had our cell phones in it.
That's crazy.
I had a little pistol on board. That little bag had everything in it that you needed. Not for you didn't really. Yeah, it's got some stuff in there, and it's crazy. It's still floating around out here today. I promise you.
It's crazy how things like that, happen. It was, yeah.
Well, see, what's the first thing that you do when you get on your boat? You put your cell phone up here, or I usually do, and always have. But that time, I put my cell phone, looked at it, I put it on airplane mode, stuck it in my pocket, and I never put my cell phone in my pocket.
Damn.
Never. And then all this crazy crap happened.
So you go down, grab the PLB. Finally get life jackets on while you're floating. After that, what was the reaction like to everybody? What was your first decision? All right, guys, what do we got to do?
Our first decision was basically, we had to make sure everybody was taken care of. Connor didn't get his life jacket on. He had his full AFCO suit on. he's a charter fisherman, so he's got all the nice gear and everything. So he had his full suit on, and he was sitting there trying to get it off in the water trying to swim. So Steven ended up swimming over there to help him put his life jacket on. The coolers popped up out of the water off the boat. Mm-hmm. So we're all grabbing as much stuff as we could to float to be as big, as visible as we can, because if Coast Guard sends a helicopter out, we want them to know that we're here. Or if a boat passes by, just something. Mm-hmm. Well, I will say that was a great idea until bait ball came around, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that story in a little bit. But the first thing was just all stick together, because I don't know, you got bottom currents and you got top currents, and the night and day difference. It is, like I said, we was drifting at 4.1 miles per hour that way, but everything else went towards land.
Yep.
But when we went down, we seen boats fishing probably maybe 300 yards, probably 400 yards north of us that we tried to swim to. We were swimming to them, but we was going further out. We seen an oil rig or a gas rig that it was in our view, and we tried to swim to that. And I'm like, no, I'm not swimming to no gas rig because I know what's over there. I'm not getting ate up by dang sharks. I'd rather stay where there's nothing here. So I was against that one. But I'm like, we had the PLB, and it was the lights flashing. We have no idea how it worked. We didn't know what was going on. So we didn't know if rescue was coming. We didn't know how long we was going to be out there. We didn't know nothing. Or if it worked. But here we are just hitting the button. Well, as time goes by, we hear something, and Steven looked up and seen this little bitty thing of orange go by. Little bitty glimpse of orange. And I mean, why is everything Coast Guard? Why do y'all have everything? Your helicopters are orange. Your airplanes are orange. Your big boats are white and orange. Why you have a little bitty orange stripe on your boat? Dude, I don't understand it. But if you ever get in a situation, you understand what that lot of orange would do for you. But so we seen the Coast Guard come from east to west, and they stopped where the boat went down. That's where we first hit the PLB button. So they went exactly where that button set it off at. Well, they wasn't looking for a boat sunk. They was looking for a boat in distress. So they had the description of our boat, everything about the boat. They just didn't have us. So they drove around finding different white boats that looked like it. Then they're like, okay, we're not looking for a boat in distress. We're looking for a boat that sunk. So they left that situation. They left there and they went back from west to east. And Steven, we're constantly hitting this button. But again, we're drifting with it. And the right thing to do is just leave it on and not turn it off.
Yep.
But we're drifting so far, so kind of gave them a drift line what we was doing. So as it went back from east to west, I mean, we seen them 5 times. And then the last time, we're sitting out there floating. I remember looking at them, or, just sitting there floating like, yeah, there's so much stuff going through my mind, like my family, what are they going to think? That's when I did a video. Like, I only had 10% battery left. That's why I didn't do a long video. I mean, it's a short little, boat sank. No bueno, and love y'all. I mean, it's just something to ease their mind, because one of our coolers that we had it was a brown Yeti cooler and it had the food in it. My idea was to take the food out of this one, put it in the bigger Yeti cooler, and put my cell phone in this one, because I know it's going to stay dry, and I know the current's taking that one this way. So I was going to put my phone in there, turn it off, put my phone in there, and when somebody plugs it up,
finds that, man,
it's going to automatically send that to my mom.
That's pretty heavy. It's pretty emotional, huh?
I was preparing for that to be my last day to see my loved ones.
Jeez. What was everybody else in the water like? Was there panic mode, or was you all just kind of keep their composure?
No, there was panic modes here and there. Yeah. Like water was getting colder, so people were shivering because hypothermia can kick in after so long sitting in there. Yep. We was in the water for 4.5 hours, 5 hours. And we were just sitting there just drifting. So after a while, first thing that as soon as we hit the water, I looked at Connor and said, pray, because he was an old preacher man. Yeah. And he said a prayer for us. And, it's one of the things like, what are you going to do? There's not much you can do. Your life is
almost a waiting game,
It is a waiting game. It's like, is this going to be, are we going to get ate by sharks? Are we going to get, are we going to get washed up on an island, or is a boat going to come by? Like, what's really going to happen? Because we're out there when nobody's out there. It is one of the biggest fishing days of the world, opening day of snapper season, and there's not a boat in sight.
You couldn't
see nothing.
Yeah, I was curious. And even if you could see, or another boat was, I don't know, pretty close by, depending on how rough it is, it's tough for them to see it,
Yeah, like I said, we was in sporty water, so you could imagine bobbing up and down. So you'll bob up, and then you'll see like a little boat, then you go down or whatever. You couldn't get in sync, especially with the Coast Guard, which that made me so mad, is they're searching for us, they're looking for us, and we could see them, but they couldn't see us. And they're looking for, like a guy said, take a football, throw it out in the water, back up about 300, 400 yards, and tell me what you see. Just a little bitty dot. And that's what they're looking for. So
how long did you see the Coast Guard before they found you? Like, were you watching for over an hour?
We watched them for multiple times. That's what was heartbreaking, is like we wouldn't even get excited no more. Like,
they got a strategy. They usually take the last known location and kind of square it out based on what the current's doing and do their lines. And
so we know they were searching. No. That's not a problem. We knew what they was doing. They just had to take their time to do it. It's a PLB, not an EPIRB. Your EPIRB definitely, if the EPIRB goes off, they're definitely looking for a sinking boat. But a PLB, they would say, that's a personal locating beacon. That's if somebody gets injured and stuff like that. Well, now they're like, okay, if something like that goes off, they need to send like whatever they can. And they were actually about to send the helicopter out. They were about to call the search off for us and send the helicopters out of New Orleans, which then that's when they ended up finding us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The helicopter found you guys?
No, the boat found us. They was calling, that's when they was headed in. Uh-huh. So the last time they was headed in, and they stopped just south of us. I'm talking about due south of us. And we was taking the Yeti, or the Igloo cooler lid, because, it's a light cooler. It's 165 quart. We actually took it and lifted up out the water for them to see. And one of the guy on the bow of the boat said, I seen something that didn't go away. He said, I thought it was a whitecap. He said, but it never went away. And once that happened, they turned the bow to us, and we were sitting there waving and hauling. All of a sudden, the boat came up to a plane. I'm like, oh, God, they found us. They found us. And we was just all crying. I tell you, that was the happiest day of my life. I'd rather that over winning the lottery any day.
Wow, man.
That was amazing.
And that's when they all caught you on board after that.
Yeah, they came in there and said they were real professional. We're going this way. We're going to bring in the youngest to the oldest, or oldest to the youngest, however it is. Y'all just get on this boat. And at the time, I really didn't care who got on the boat first, as long as you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, once they was there, it's like you could sit in the water for hours and just lay on your back and just.
We're so lucky we have the Coast Guard, man.
We are. People take them for granted. Like people don't like a lot of the military say, well, they're not dude. They got a battle. They got a battle to do also.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to their training. I would love to go to the school, but I don't want to go to the training.
They're busy too.
This
stuff happens all the time, man. I mean, it's kind of not really shared to the public that much. I mean, that's why I've been enjoying having all these like people like you on the show, because these stories are crazy, you know. But it's always about like, how do you react during these situations, and you think you're prepared, but are you though? You know.
Well,
I mean, what would you guys have done differently if looking back now, since you've experienced
looking
this?
back at it now? I mean, what I do, I have an actual ditch bag now that's got rope inside of it. It's got a lot of things in it that we needed then, but you didn't think about it. I mean, just to be able to hold on to each other, that sucked, because your hands, at least one hand. Okay, I'm in 2 coolers.
Yeah.
I got one cooler here, the other cooler here, and I'm also holding on to some people. I wouldn't let go of the food and the water. I'm like, okay, this is survival mode right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I got water, I got food. This is what's going to keep me alive.
This needs to stay right here.
Yeah, so I kept them, and Steven kept the PLB wrapped around his hand. So I'm like, okay, I got food, water, Steven, and a PLB. All right, I'm good. If we don't get found, we're going to get found. Like, we know, we had an idea that it was working, but we didn't know that it was working. So I'm preparing myself for the last time. Like, okay, if I wash up on island, at least I got food, water, and beer. Steven's, Steven's got the PLB. I'm like, okay, so we're not. I'm not in that bad of a shape. I mean, as long as I don't let go of these 3 objects, I'm great. But having rope in the ditch bag helped out a lot. I also got floaties in my ditch bag, like the little $3 blow up floaties that you can get. I got a bright orange one, a bright red one. So if I do ever get in that bind, I can hold it up, and it's like a signal, man.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're looking to get a new boat. I mean, how are you going to set it up? Because I always think about these situations, how I want everything set up on my boat, and I think the most important is having it easy to grab, like quickly. You know? I mean, think about it. If you guys didn't pull that bag out and that PLB stuck in that console, you got a totally different situation.
I don't care if it's a $1.2 million Freeman. I'm going to sit there and put Velcro inside of it for the ditch bag. I mean,
it's smart.
Safety ain't pretty, but let me tell you what, sitting there in that water, it's not pretty either.
They have a mount now for this EPIRB.
The Cat 1.
Yeah.
And that automatically ejects it out.
That's
or
right.
you can physically eject it out. But see, I'm going to have one on my boat.
So tell me about that, though. So, because this is what I have on my boat, and it's pretty damn cool. So explain it. When the boat goes down, right, it automatically pops out?
Yeah, if you're on the Cat 1, if you have the Cat 1 ejector, so that just stays on your boat. And what it is, once the boat says, you'll put it at the toppest part of your boat, which a lot of boats now won't sink. They'll capsize, but you're still screwed. So you're sitting there on the bottom of your boat. So if you put this on your T-top, it's going to be in the weather, but it's not going to be that bad. And your boat capsize, once it gets so much pressure on it, it would automatically push that out. And then when it pushes that out, it's sitting there floating with you. You also have the other one that you have to manually take out. That's like I think it's a Cat 2 that you'll manually do that one. Or they have another one that just sits in there. And you just screw it to the side of your boat. But I'll keep this one in my ditch bag, and I'll have the Cat 1 ejector for the other ones. So what all this does is there's 2 tabs on the bottom of it. Once it gets wet, that automatically sends out. Now, when it gets
wet.
This
right here?
No, right here.
Okay.
You see them right there?
Yep.
So when they get wet, they will sit there and send a signal to the Coast Guard, hey, something's not right. And also, with this, washing your boat's not going to set it off.
No, it's got to be completely.
It's got to be completely submerged. So if you go into the sink right now and you just submerge it in the sink, then it'll start going off.
Okay.
But just hosing your boat down is not going to make it go off.
Okay.
These are only going off from that, or you can set it off by opening that
and pressing that.
So if I had a boat like yours or a bigger boat, definitely have one of them permanent on the boat, unless storms come in, and you got to help the Coast Guard out. Remember to take that off your boat.
I have it. I'm trying to figure out where to mount it now.
For me, if you got the Cat 1 top of your boat or anywhere in the clear sight, don't put it under your T-top where it's going to get hung up.
Definitely not inside any hatch.
Don't put it on any side, because if something happens, I mean, like to say, safety ain't sexy, but here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, and you're responsible for everybody inside that boat.
Our ACR has been great, man. Listening and reading their stories, and also too learning they have more than just that. I thought
they got everything,
dude. It was really cool the flares they make.
Yeah, the new flares.
Because that'll substitute any of the old, pyro flares that you used to have.
Well,
it's Coast Guard approved now.
It is Coast Guard approved, and I mean it's bright. You
guys were messing with it at the Miami Boat Show.
Yeah, we was at the Miami Boat Show, and you couldn't even look up at it. It was so bright. Which they're amazing products. Like the stuff that they come out with, I don't know how the heck they made this light. I wish they could make me a Q beam.
Nah.
For the front of my truck, to be honest with you. And they actually make them they actually make lights now. They have their own little Q beams, little spotlights, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I want one just for that, for that certain time of the season.
Yeah. But man, your story's nuts. Like and that's why I always ask. I mean, looking forward now, I mean, you're talking about getting a boat, all this stuff. And I mean, it's a big eye opener for you, right? I mean,
I know what to do now.
Yeah,
I know we know how to do it. I think all 5 of us take that. We learn from it. Now we live our boat life completely different than we used to be. It used to be beer, radio, sandbar. Now it's like safety equipment, beer, and radio.
Yeah.
And they don't cost much. I mean, you get $300 to $400 for a PLB. And then you can take it everywhere with you. It ain't just for boating. It's also for hiking, hunting, anything. You like to go biking, take it with you. I mean, it goes all over the world.
Yeah.
And you can fly with them.
Can you?
Yep. It's global. It is all over the world life-saving beacons. That's how awesome they really are. So if I ever go to Scotland to go hunting, I would definitely bring it with me, because I could still be over there with it.
How old were you when this happened?
33.
Okay, so this is only a year ago.
Yeah, it was just a year ago. It ain't even been a year yet.
Hasn't even been a year.
It hasn't even been a year yet.
That video got like what, 7-8 million views, I think?
9.4 million right now.
9.4 million views.
I mean, it's dying down, but I'm using this to help other people out, because they don't know about it. I mean, I just want to save as many lives. I don't make no money off of them, but I want to save as many lives. If I know that you bought one, I know that I saved your life, and that's all the payment that I need.
Have you had any connections with somebody else that's been through a similar situation?
We've actually, at the Miami Boat Show, we've had a couple of people from all over come up to us. I think one was in England. They was on a sailing trip, and their PLB saved their life, or their EPIRB saved their life. And we sat there and we just chit-chatted back and forth, man, for hours. And I've met multiple people down there. You don't realize how many people use it, or to have it, and they're like, well, I never thought I was going to use it until.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had one guy come up in there with his wife and kids, and you know how men are. We're dumb. We don't, we're men, beat our chest. We don't need that. Well, his wife come up in there, and she was talking about it. She said, I want to get one for the boat. And he's like, oh, we don't need that for the boat. We don't need that. I know what to do. My boat don't sink. I said, yeah, it's going to capsize. I said, then what you going to do? You're still floating out there. You ain't got no motors to propel you anywhere. How you going to radio to say, help? Well, it tells you the latitude and longitude. I said, I'll give you 45 seconds to put on there your latitude and longitude without messing up any numbers, because you're not going to be worried about that. You're going to be worried about getting your family in their life jackets. And I said, if you have this on your boat or you have that, you ain't got to worry about all that pull crowd. All you got to do is just grab this or get the Cat 1. You ain't got to worry about that. It's going to eject it out. Well, I'm sitting there talking to his wife. I'm like, look, if you got good life insurance on him, I understand it. I said, but if you don't, and you and your kids are on that, definitely get one. She ended up buying 2 that day.
Nice.
She goes, I ain't being stranded in that water. I showed her the video. She goes, I'm not doing that.
I mean, they're not necessarily cheap, but think about how much money you spend on, fishing rod and reels and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I mean,
I mean, you want to buy a $300,000 boat, but you don't want to buy a $400 or $500 EPIRB or PLB.
You might know this since you got a really good relationship with ACR now. Do you know what the survival rate is if we have one of these on board with an active, you got to check and make sure, it's registered.
You don't have to register them.
Oh, you don't?
No, you don't. That's just to help you out. That's to help the Coast Guard out, who they're looking for. But if you went out and bought this right now and threw it in that ocean, it would still work the same. It don't have to be registered. You register it so it helps the Coast Guard say, hey,
this is
Easton Barrett's boat's down. Here's his emergency contact, which with these, you have emergency contact. So it was going to call your wife or your girlfriend, whoever, say, hey, his PLB went off. What's going on? Oh, him and his buddy went hiking this morning on the Blue Ridge Mountain. Well, all right. So now we know that something's not right. It still works the same. And this also does too. It don't have to be registered. We want you to register it so we know. And also, if it's registered to you and your boat ever sinks, and it's not just your boat sinking. Say you have your dad out there or your kid and they slip and fall and they crack their ribs on a gunnel. Well, it's easier for the Coast Guard to come out there with the helicopter to pick them up than it is anything. So you just take that, stick it in the water, and it's going to go off.
Sometimes the radio won't transmit that far either.
Everybody said VH radio. I'm like, okay, that works only to how many miles out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we got CB whips on our boats. And I'm not a boating expert by no means. I just know what works and what,
Well, you've learned a lot from this, man.
Yes, I have.
And I really appreciate what you're doing. And have you been moving forward, enjoying what you're doing now and sharing? Because a lot of people honestly don't feel comfortable talking about the story, kind of still fresh in their mind. But
and that's what gets other people hurt.
Yeah,
you got to talk about. I've talked about it so much. It's like now that I know I can save people's lives, and we can save people's life. That's what I want to do. Cool. I mean, when it happened, me and Steven said, look, we're going to push this to go and save as many lives as we can. And that's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. He's working a lot, keeping everything. I go do all this stuff. I mean, I got a great team behind me. That's my goal, is to save as many lives. And if you stay hush-hush about it, nobody knows how to help you. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah, it's just kind of education too.
Yeah.
And getting people out and showing what some people don't even know what an EPIRB is,
A lot of people didn't. They're like, what is that device?
Yeah.
A lot of people never knew about it until that video that
you didn't even know about it.
I didn't even know about it until until she put it on the boat and then we used it. I'm like, damn.
I think it's nuts that they just so happen to put the PLB on your boat that day.
I'll say it. I think it was jinxed. I think it is what jinxed us. I'm just kidding.
So listen, man, if for everybody that's listening, I mean, they all want to know, what, especially the younger generation, if there's any advice to give out to somebody new that wants to really get into going offshore, fishing, traveling, what have you, what kind of advice would you get after experiencing something traumatic like this?
Have a good ditch plan. Get a good ditch bag and put what you think that you need. You ain't got to put everything in there, but you can buy bags of water. You can buy dye packets. You can buy, like I said, floaties, ropes. I have in mind, I got maybe a little bit of fishing equipment. Just have a good ditch plan. I mean, because it's not if it can happen, it's when it's going to happen. And people take boating for granted. There are boats that all boats will sink or capsize. I think that's been proven multiple times.
I like how you said plan. I mean, not you're a bag, yes, but a plan too.
A plan.
Know what, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this situation. Talk to you guys on board maybe before you go long distance or far. Hey, so-and-so is doing this, you're doing this. It could maybe in some aspects get annoying every time you do it, but is it though? I mean, people got to understand, hey, this is a good thing to practice to do.
I will tell people, I wouldn't wish what happened to me on anybody. Mm-hmm. My worst enemy. I don't care how mad I would be at them. I don't want them to go through there, because one time we were sitting in the water, tide line came through us, a weed line came through us, and that just left a big bait ball underneath us. You can look down and just see fish. Just not knowing. And one of the times, right before the Coast Guard got there, something swam by me, hit my leg, swam out and hit somebody else's leg. I mean, I've already been hit by a bull shark before scuba diving. I know what they do. They swim in oh yeah, we're tasting him. Then next time you're not so lucky. And then Dusty on the boat, one of the guys, the oldest guy on the boat, he had an eel bite him in the side.
How old was he?
I don't know how old he was. I'll say 200 years old. Nah, he's probably 45.
Okay, so 50. You had somebody a little bit older.
Yeah, and he's a captain also for I don't think they can tell him, no, you can't tug this, because he's a tugboat captain. He can do all kinds of stuff.
So he had a little bit of experience. Yeah, right? What was his reaction?
freaking out.
Was he?
Yeah.
See,
I mean, everybody, I mean, you in that
You
situation.
seem like you were pretty laid back. I mean, I mean,
Man, look, I tell you, I'm so serious sometimes, and then sometimes I just really don't care. And at that part in time, it's like, what can you do? I mean,
you're right.
I mean, you're screwed. I remember look falling back like, does anybody feel like crying right now? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, as long as it ain't just me, we're good.
Wow.
I mean, you gotta. I like to joke and laugh about a lot of things. You got a bad case scenario, make the best of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can you do? There's not like you can just get up off the water and walk out. We're not Jesus. I mean, we're floating. Our hands are in Jesus' hands right then and there. So
your advice though, have a plan. Think
Definitely
about
a plan.
before a big, job site or something, or you're working out in the field, and before every, usually have a safety meeting every morning. At least what I used to do when I was working with CTEL.
yeah.
That's kind of the same thing people should start thinking about doing, before you go fishing at 4 a.m. Hey, let's all have a game plan here,
And also, you're captain of the boat. You might not be the captain. You're the owner of that boat. You're driving that boat. You're responsible for everybody on that boat.
Right.
If somebody throws a piece of trash over the side of the boat, well, guess who's getting the ticket?
Yeah.
The driver. So if you own a boat or you want to buy a boat, you got to realize that you are responsible for everybody on that boat. So basically, all you need to do is make sure that everybody listens to you and have a good plan if something happens. And that is the best case scenario. You can't plan for if the boat sinks, but if it does, you can do the best you can to help out. I mean, because in that scenario, it's like, okay, we'll just throw life jackets on and float. No, dude, that's
you got guests on board. They don't know where everything is on your boat.
Yeah, and doing a little rundown. I mean, don't put all your stuff inside the center console either. Put it where you can get to, because our boat went down. Like I said, I give it a minute, but 45 seconds and it was gone. But have a rundown with everybody. Somebody new on your boat. Hey, the life jackets are on the bow of the boat in that side, or if there's a fire extinguisher inside here or anything like that, it just helps out a lot, because as a captain of a boat, you're going to be doing your mayday calls if you didn't lose power. So everybody on the boat has to know where the stuff is to keep everybody safe. So definitely a plan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it, man. That's good stuff. And for all that are listening, my best advice, I mean, whether, like I said, you're going far or not, I'd seriously consider buying one of these. I mean, whether it's a POB or EPIRB, I think they're both a great product to have on the boat.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the must-haves.
And they also got a promo code out, and it's Stay Safe 25.
Stay Safe 25.
It saves you 10% off on everything on their website, and also free shipping.
Cool, man.
So if you want to buy one and you're like, oh, it costs so much, I mean, I'll save you 10% and Stay Safe 25. I mean,
love it. ACR they've got such a good reputation. And
they are American made.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Down in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, I've been to the factory, and everything, these little things are handmade. The lovely ladies inside of there, they take their time and their pride, and they're pressure tested. They are.
I want to go check it out.
Oh, dude, we'll have to set that up. I mean, it's absolutely a good time.
Yeah, man.
We need to go shoot iguanas down there too.
I'd love to do that.
That would be awesome.
Where did that come from? I like that.
I don't know, but this is like Fort Lauderdale iguana hunting. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do that.
Let's do it,
But
man.
yeah, I mean, we'll get you set up with them and have to take a little tour of it.
Cool.
You'll love it.
ACR hooked us up with this ditch bag, and you made a good point. You said that you're talking about they give you an EPIRB, a PLB, flares. What am I missing?
They give you a whistle and a spotting mirror. You buy different packages when you buy the ditch bag from ACR. You can build your own however you want to on their website, or you can buy their ones that they already have. It has a EPIRB, a PLB,
and an EPIRB, for those that are listening though, this will actually, like you said, once it goes in the water, it sends a signal straight to the satellites, which then relays to search and rescue teams. So whether it's the Coast Guard, first responders, it's like a big alert goes off to everybody on land.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And then underneath here is a string. I'm not going to pull yours out because once it's out, it's a pain in the ass. But it has a string in there.
Okay.
So you could tie it to
cool.
Wherever you're, like you can tie it to your wrist and float. You could tie it to whatever you're on. A lot of people have what's some things called where you're a life raft. A lot of people got a little 2-3 man life raft on their boat. I will have one. I hate being in that water. Oh my God.
Well, this is cool though, because it not only it comes with the EPIRB and PLB, which is great, but they give you a bag big enough though where you can build your own. So you can throw in all your survival gear, whatever you want to put in there. No, it's a great product. It's huge You know,
They also got a smaller one too.
Yeah.
And they're dry.
Mhm.
There's nothing get wet in there. Everything. I mean, they're just great bags, and they do hold up to 25 pounds. So you could float on that if you wanted to.
That's awesome.
Nope.
I'm excited to build my own though, because I have like a survival kit on the boat. I have all that already, but now like
you have a designated spot for it.
Well, the ditch bag is great because it's the thing that you need the most. I mean, I have the survival shit on the boat, but it's kind of not all. It's kind of all over the place. This, throw that over.
Exactly. You throw it over, and it's with you, and everything that's in there. I mean,
well, Easton, man, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story, and man, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be out here. I'm glad y'all accepted me out here. I met you in Miami Boat Show.
Well, we've been talking for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking for a while, but you busy. We're all busy, so it happens.
Well, thank you, man. And let's definitely, guys, consider keeping one of these on board.